there's the numbers. Weird, huh? Weird that that's what's happening to my video when it's titled this way. But it seems as though, so I said it before I saw these extra videos. But I saw this video, and I've been trying to actually find the video itself. But this is a video of this dude, Maduro.
Had to remove him, allegedly.
Says, now the racist and supremacists of Zionism today want to wipe out the Palestinian people. What's more, they want to finish with all Arab people, to finish with all the Muslim people. They have sown an ideology of hate, of plundering raids. They have been sowing it for 75 years. I don't know if this is real. With the support of the West. Attention, good world that is hearing me. Attention, men and women of the United States, Europe, and the world. They have sown an ideology more dangerous than Nazism. Fight against the Palestinian people. Plundering, raids, extermination, genocide, atomic bombs. Hey, he's calling! Next, it will be all Arab peoples, all Muslims. Then they will come for Christians and Catholics. He's calling you! Let's the genocide in time. Oh. So, I don't know if that was real. I think it's real. I mean, that guy that shared it is really good. So, Venezuela, Israel relations. Let's see what we can find about that. Venezuela and Israel have severed diplomatic relations since 2009 when Venezuela cut ties over Israel's Gaza offensive. So they're good. I'm so glad you hopped on. I want to know your thoughts. Well, my thoughts were it was about Israel from the beginning. I knew I'd heard that I somehow I knew Venezuela wasn't on board with Israel. And actually, you know what it is? It's because there was shit about Maduro like a year ago. I remember looking it up, looking into it, asking the same question, like, why is Venezuela all of a sudden so important? Because this actually happened like a year ago. We've just forgotten about it. And maybe there was something like the... I don't know. I don't remember what it was. I'm thinking there was like some award that was supposed to go to an Israeli, but they wanted to wait because Israel had just, killed a bunch of children or something. And they were like, but that might have been a different country. I don't remember. There's just so many of them. But I just kind of knew that Venezuela wasn't on board with Israel. So this is the AI overview. When Venezuela cut ties over Israel's Gaza offensive, like everyone should, with both nations strongly supporting opposite sides in the Israel-Palestinian conflict under the Chavez-Maduro governments. Though there were brief attempts by opposition leader Guaido, just one name, in 2019 to restore ties, and diplomatic developments suggest potential shifts as Israel welcomes the removal of Maduro, hoping for future normalization. Normalization is a term that only seems to apply to Israel. Normalization. Define normalization. The process of bringing something or returning something to a normal condition or state. The normalization of the situation will make an area more productive. What do you mean by normalization? Okay, so that's not really normalization. the process of making something normal. I've been wondering about normalization for a long time, so you have to excuse me real quick, because I'm. So I went and looked up normalization. Of course, Wiki's gonna say refers to the process of making something more normal or regular. But so even when you think about it like that, and you think about how it's being presented, constantly, normalization has to do with Israel, and that's what they say. All these, like the
Did you need this? Or did you watch it?
no, I watched it. They say that all the Abraham Accords were called normalization deals. So if you take it for what it's, at its face, the idea of signing control over to Israel, allowing Israel to do as they want without any fear of repercussion or reprisal from you, that is making things more normal as far as the situation is concerned. And this stuff with this stuff with Maduro right now is to, like it said, normalize things, to make for normalization. So we're here at Israel-Venezuela relations. Israel-Venezuela relations refer to foreign relations between Israel and Venezuela. Both countries have no formal relations since 2009 under the PSUV regime. Canada serves as Israel's protecting power in Venezuela through its embassy in Caracas, while Spain serves as Venezuela's protecting power in Israel through its embassy in Tel Aviv. Venezuela voted in favor of Israeli membership into the United Nations in 1949 and established diplomatic ties. Though relations between the two countries were traditionally strong, they have soured considerably under the presidency of Hugo Chavez in relating to Chavez's convictions regarding the 2006 Lebanon War, and partly due to Chavez's foreign policy relating to Iran and Israel's political opposition to it. Chavez also positioned himself on the world stage as opposed to American foreign policy. The U.S. and Israel are partners in defense and international relations, specifically relating to the Middle East. In the wake of the 2008-2009 Israel-Gaza conflict, dun dun dun, Venezuela broke all diplomatic ties with Israel, condemning its actions. On April 27, 2009, Venezuelan Foreign Minister and future President Nicolas Maduro met with Palestinian National Authority Foreign Minister Riyad al-Maliki in Caracas, where formal diplomatic relations were established. Go fucking figure. I mean, doesn't it all make sense now? Throw the oil in the mix, and now you suddenly have your exact reason why the U.S. is suddenly super concerned with Venezuela, because we need to be safe. Netanyahu was championing all of this. Isn't it interesting, too, how Netanyahu was literally just here? I don't even know if he's still here. If he's still here, that's one thing, but he was literally just here. So he's just here, and then suddenly we're striking. This is an act of war. We are the aggressors in this. For forever, we will be known as the bad guys because we started a war with no provocation whatsoever. And Trump was like, yeah, we're going to go after Cuba, and we're going to go after Colombia. He was letting them all know. Apparently, Trump's waging world war, on all these countries. And we're all going to get drug into it. You understand that? Like, I mean, he's just so fake and arrogant. The smugness and arrogance that comes off of Trump is so. I mean, it's just so off-putting. I just can't. For the life of me, I can't understand why so many people still want to blow him. It's crazy. Venezuela voted in favor of the United Nations partition plan for Palestine on November 29, 1947, and established diplomatic ties with Israel later on. Venezuela's first representative in Israel, Romulo Aralu, arrived in 59 or 60 and was based in the King David Hotel in Jerusalem. A year later, the mission was located in the Kataman neighborhood at Who Gives a Shit, where it stayed until 1980. In 1962, ties were upgraded so that full ambassadors were exchanged. From 60 to 64, Vicente Gerbasi, a poet, served as the Venezuelan representative and ambassador. He was replaced by Pedro Abreu, and in 69 or 70, Napoleon Jimenez took over. In 1980, when Venezuela and many other nations chose to move their embassies outside of Jerusalem, Luis Lacorte was the ambassador. In 1962, Gerbasi presented an Arab village with a tractor from Venezuela. During the Six-Day War, many Venezuelan Jews went to Israel to fight for Israel. That is just so fucking crazy. Why are you allowed back when you go fight for another place? When the United Nations passed General Assembly Resolution 3379 on November 10, 1975, determining that Zionism is a form of racism and racial discrimination, Venezuela abstained. The resolution was later revoked in 1991. I've never heard of this. Milos Aleke served as Venezuela's ambassador from Israel to 92 to 95. Israel Foreign Minister Shimon Peres visited Caracas in January 95 during the second Caldera administration to, quote, cement ties with friendly countries and to deepen cooperations in areas of mutual benefit. Venezuela's foreign minister noted that the reception that was given for Foreign Minister Perez was unprecedented. An unprecedented reception in Venezuela for an Israeli an Israeli leader. An Israeli foreign minister. Do you know how fucking insane that is? General Assembly Resolution number 3379, adopted on November 10th, 1975, determines that Zionism is a form of racism and racial discrimination, with 72 votes in favor, 35 votes against, and 32 abstentions. It was revoked by Resolution 4686, adopted on December 16th, 1991, with 111 votes in favor, 25 votes against, and 13 abstentions. The vote for Resolution 3379 was held nearly 1 year after the adoption of Resolution 3236 and Resolution 3237. The former recognized the question of Palestine and invited the Palestine Liberation Organization, the PLO, to participate in international diplomacy, and the latter designated the PLO as a non-member assembly observer following the olive branch speech by Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat. I mean, I think about that shit, and I think about like Yasser Arafat and who I thought he was when I was a kid, because I knew that name. But like, you know, you don't know, you're a kid, you don't know shit. I just thought he was just a super bad guy. Yasser Arafat. What kind of what kind of name is that? How many of you ever heard about the idea that the United States government considered Zionism a form of racism and discrimination from 1975 to 1991? That's a long fucking time. You know, that's a strange thing to be left out of the history books. Let's keep going, shall we? In the context of the Declaration of the Elimination of All Forms of Racial Discrimination, adopted on November 10th, 1963, Resolution 3379 officially condemned the national ideology of the State of Israel. It was sponsored by the Arab League and a number of Muslim majority countries and was chiefly supported by in favor votes from the second world, whatever that is, and many African countries. Israel, which had been granted United Nations membership in 1949, voted against Resolution 3379 and subsequently condemned it, and was chiefly supported by the First World. That's just such a crazy thing to think about. Like, you're considered second world. We are first world, so we matter more. In July 1920, at the San Remo Conference, a Class A League of Nations mandate over Palestine was allocated to the British. The preamble of the mandate document declared, whereas the principal Allied powers have also agreed that the mandatory should be responsible for putting into effect the declaration originally made on November 2nd, 1917, by the government of His Britannic Majesty and adopted by the said powers in favor of the establishment in Palestine of a national home for the Jewish people, it being clearly understood that nothing should be done which might prejudice the civil and religious rights of the existing non-Jewish communities in Palestine or the rights of the political status enjoyed by Jews in any other country. That's pretty fucking weird. That's pretty fucking weird. On November 29th, 1947, the UN General Assembly adopted a resolution recommending to the United Kingdom as the mandatory power for Palestine, which I'm sure they were all about it, right? And to all other members of the United Nations, the adoption and implementation with regard to the future government of Palestine of the plan of partition with economic union as Resolution 181. The plan contained a proposal to terminate the British mandate for Palestine and partition Palestine into independent Arab and Jewish states and the special international regime for the city of Jerusalem. On May 14, 1948, the date in which the British mandate over Palestine expired, and it's the day before the Nakba. So when they say the idea that they pulled the British troops out while I don't know how you have Israeli troops because Israel doesn't exist, but what are they walking by each other like, man, I hope it works out for you. All right. No. It's just more proof that the Allies were the ones that did that shit, that did the Nakba. On which the British the Jewish People's Council gathered at the Tel Aviv Museum and approved a proclamation which declared the establishment of a Jewish state in Eretz Israel to be known as the State of Israel. On May 11, 1949, Israel was admitted into membership into the United Nations. The text of Resolution 3379. The full text of Resolution 3379. Elimination of all forms of racial discrimination. The General Assembly, recalling its resolution 1904 of 20 November 1963, proclaiming the United Nations Declaration on the Elimination of All Forms of Racial Discrimination, and in particular, its affirmation that, quote, any doctrine of racial differentiation or superiority is scientifically false, morally condemnable, socially unjust, and dangerous, end quote. And its expression of alarm at, quote, the manifestations of racial discrimination still in evidence in some areas of the world, some of which are imposed by certain governments by means of legislative, administrative, or other measures, end quote. Recalling also that in its resolution 3151G of December 14, 1973, the General Assembly condemned inter alia the unholy alliance between South African racism and Zionism Taking note of the Declaration of Mexico on the equality of women and their contribution to the development of peace. These are all blue things. 1975, proclaimed by the World Conference of the International Women's Year, held at Mexico City from June 19th to July 2nd, 1975, which promulgated the principle that international operation and peace require the achievement of national liberation and independence, the elimination of colonialism and neocolonialism, foreign occupation, Zionism, apartheid, and racial discrimination in all of its forms, as well as the recognition of the dignity of peoples and their right to self-determination. Wow. This is such a powerful thing. Again, who knew that this was the way it was from 76 to 91? I had no idea. I've never heard of this before. Take note also of Resolution 77, adopted by the Assembly of Heads of State and Government of the Organization of African Unity at its 12th Ordinary Session, held at Kampala from July 28th to August 1st, 1975, which considered that the racist regime in occupied Palestine and the racist regime in Zimbabwe and South Africa have a common imperialist origin, forming a whole and having the same racist structure and being organically linked in their policy aimed at repression of the dignity and integrity of the human being. Holy shit. So what happened in 1991? What was the catalyst for I'm sure we'll find it. Taking note also of the political declaration and strategy to strengthen this is all one thing. The political declaration and strategy to strengthen international peace and security and to intensify solidarity and mutual assistance among non-allied countries, all of those were capital letters, adopted at the Conference of Ministers from Foreign Affairs of non-aligned countries held at Lima from August 25th to August 30th, 1975, which most severely condemned Zionism as a threat to world peace and security and called upon all countries to oppose this racist and imperialist ideology. Determines that Zionism is a form of racism and racial discrimination. Wow. I mean, this is... I'm sorry, this is just fucking fascinating to me. Like, how does anybody just ignore this? Like it's no big deal. Votes on Resolution 3379. In favor: Afghanistan, Albania, Algeria, Bahrain, Bangladesh, Brazil, Bulgaria, Burundi, Belarusian SSR, Cameroon, Cape Verde, Chad, China, Congo, Cuba, Cyprus, Czechoslovakia, Dahomey, South Yemen, Egypt, Equatorial Guinea, the Gambia, East Germany, Grenada, Guinea, Guinea-Bissau, Guyana, Hungary, India, Indonesia, Iran, Iraq, Jordan, Kampuchea, Kuwait, Laos, Lebanon, Libya, what a surprise, Madagascar, Malaysia, Maldives, Mali, Malta, I know this word, Mauritania, I don't know them, Mexico, Mongolia, Morocco, Mozambique, Nigeria, Oman, Pakistan, Poland, Portugal, Qatar, Rwanda, Sao Tome and Principe. Saudi Arabia, Senegal, Somalia, Soviet Union, Sri Lanka, Sudan, Syria, Tunisia, Turkey, Uganda, Ukrainian SSR. Ukrainian SSR? Ukraine? Good old Ukraine? Good old Ukraine? Good old Ukraine? That's interesting. The United Arab Emirates, Tanzania, Yemen, and Yugoslavia. So many of those countries have now signed Abraham Accords. Go figure. Abstaining were Argentina, Bhutan, Bolivia, Botswana, Burma, Chile, Colombia, Ecuador, Ethiopia, Gabon, Ghana, Greece, Guatemala, Jamaica, Japan, Kenya, Lesotho, Mauritius, Nepal, Papua New Guinea, Paraguay, Peru, Philippines, Sierra Leone, Singapore, Thailand, Togo, Trinidad and Tobago, Upper Volta, Venezuela. Venezuela abstained. Zaire and Zambia. So let's see. These are the ones that were against it. Australia, Austria, Bahamas, Barbados, Belgium, Canada, Central Africa Republic, Costa Rica, Denmark, Dominican Republic, El Salvador, Fiji, Finland, France, West Germany, Haiti, Honduras, Iceland, Ireland, Shitstain, Italy, Ivory Coast, Liberia, Luxembourg, Malawi, Netherlands, New Zealand, Nicaragua, Norway, Panama, Switzerland, Sweden, United Kingdom, United States, and Uruguay. Response. The response. Israel is the first response we need, of course. In his address to the United Nations General Assembly the same day, November 10, 1975, Israeli Ambassador Chaim Herzog said, I can point with pride to the Arab ministers who have served in my government, to the Arab deputy speaker of my parliament, to the Arab officers and men serving of their own volition in our border and police defenses, frequently commanding Jewish troops, to the hundreds of thousands of Arabs from all over the Middle East, crowding the cities of Israel every year, to the thousands of Arabs from all over the Middle East coming for medical treatment to Israel, to the peaceful coexistence which has developed, to the fact that Arabic is an official language in Israel on a par with Hebrew, to the fact that it is natural for an Arab to serve in public office in Israel, as it is incredulous to think of a Jew serving in any public office in an Arab country, indeed being admitted to many of them. Indeed, being admitted to many of them. Is that racism? It is not. That is Zionism. Oh my God. He doesn't address anything. Like, seriously, he says, like, the reason why there's this resolution is because of their unethical treatment and all this other shit. He doesn't say, well, yes, we've done this or we've done that or deny. He's saying, no, look at all these other things we've done. I know you're talking about this stuff over here, but what about this stuff over here? Herzog ended his statement while holding a copy of the resolution with these words: for us, the Jewish people, this resolution is based on hatred, falsehood, and arrogance, is devoid of any moral or legal value. For us, the Jewish people, this is more than a piece of paper, and we shall treat it as such. Or this is no more than a piece of paper. Sorry. This is so crazy. This is so crazy. It seems like it for a minute, like we were almost like doing the right thing, almost. Like, kinda, sorta. As he concluded his speech, Herzog tore the resolution in half. The name of the UN Avenue in Haifa, Jerusalem, and Tel Aviv was switched to the Zionism Avenue as a response to the UN's decision. United States. Before the vote, Daniel Patrick Moynihan, the United States ambassador to the United Nations warned that the United Nations is about to make anti-Semitism international law. He delivered a speech against the resolution, including the famous line, "The United States does not acknowledge, it will not abide by, it will never acquiesce in this infamous act. A great evil has been loosened upon the world." I mean, it's just crazy because it's like, again, to suggest that Israel is doing horrible things and that these people are extremely supremacist is somehow like, it somehow hurts them more than what they're doing. In Campbell, California, in the United States, a group of high school students attempted to solicit signatures on the premise of a local shopping center for a petition against Resolution 3379. Really? The result was the landmark U.S. Supreme Court decision in Prune Yard Shopping Center versus Robbins that supported states' rights to expand the exercise of free speech, which California held was legal in what were considered public areas of the shopping mall. Mexico's vote in favor of the resolution led to some United States Jews to organize a tourism boycott of Mexico. This ended after Mexican Foreign Minister Emilio Oscar Rabasa made a trip to Israel. Rabasa shortly afterward was forced to resign. Revocation. UN General Assembly Resolution 4686, adopted on December 16, 1991, revoked Resolution 3379's designation of Zionism as a form of racism and racial discrimination. Israel had made the revocation a condition for its participation in the Madrid Conference of 1991. Do you understand that? We changed one of our laws, or no, this is UN policy, right? Is that? Yes. United Nations General Assembly. Okay, so this was so they were like, we won't show up to the thing if you allow this to keep going. And so the United Nations acquiesced so Israel would go to the Madrid Conference of 1991. The vote on Resolution 4686 was held shortly after the Gulf War. Oh, right. That was very well played, right? Mm-hmm. Shortly after the Gulf War, when it was like, the Arabs are bad. The vote on Resolution 4686 was held shortly after the Gulf War with sponsorship by 88 countries, including the overwhelming majority of both the First World and the Second World, and was chiefly supported by many African countries. The Arab League, most Muslim majority countries, and 4 other countries, Cuba, North Korea, Sri Lanka, and Vietnam, voted against it. In total, the motion was revoked. The motion to revoke 3379 received 111 votes in favor, 25 votes against, and 30 abstentions. Resolution 4686 was raised under pressure from the United States, and American President George H.W. Bush personally introduced the motion to revoke 3379 with the following statement. UNGA Resolution 3379, the so-called Zionism is Racism Resolution, mocks this pledge and the principles upon which the United Nations was founded. What? And I call now for its repeal. Zionism is not a policy. It is the idea that led to the creation of a home for the Jewish people, to the state of Israel. Right. It's a supremacist ideal that said, who gives a shit that other people live there? We want to live there now. And to equate Zionism with the intolerable sin of racism is to twist history and forget the terrible plight of the Jews in World War II and indeed throughout history. Oh, they were so persecuted. Why? Don't ask. To equate Zionism with racism is to reject Israel itself. Good. That's the truth. He's telling the truth. To equate Zionism with racism is to reject Israel because Israel is racism, is supremacy. A member of good standing with the United Nations. No, they don't. They don't have a good standing with them at all. This body cannot claim to seek peace and at the same time challenge Israel's right to exist. You see how they do that? It's not challenging Israel's right to exist, though I guess it kind of is. But it's like, if Israel wasn't such a piece of shit, then nobody would say anything about it existing as much. By repealing this resolution unconditionally, the United Nations will enhance its credibility and serve the cause of peace. I mean, and the thing is, too, look at what it is since then.
What?
You said bum. Look at what it's been since then.
Mom, what you want? Switch the clothes. Bring Nathan's from the dryer up and put that load in the washer. Put the one in the washer in the dryer.
I mean, this is fucking nuts. The text of Resolution 4686. The full text of revocation was simply: the General Assembly decides to revoke the determination contained in the Resolution 3379 of November 10th, 1975. And that's that. That's all that was.
Hello?
On June. Dude, take your basket downstairs, put it in the... huh?
Basket's full.
So, take your basket full of clothes downstairs, put it in the washer while you switch the clothes, and bring up the clothes that are inside the dryer. You know how to do the whole thing.
Oh, I told him who was on
Shut up.
people that received the text to me about having heart attacks, so. Yep. All right, cool. All right.
On June 21st, 2004, while inaugurating the first United Nations Conference on the issue of anti-Semitism, the Secretary General of the United Nations, Kofi Annan, stated that the actions of the United Nations on the issue of anti-Semitism have not always been worthy of its ideals. It is deplorable that the General Assembly adopt in 1975 a resolution which assimilated Zionism with racism, and I welcome that it later came back on its position. I mean, it's fucking nuts. Like, there's no, when they presented the resolution, it was like, because of this, and they do this, and they do this, and this is obviously this, and then. When they revoked it, it was like, we revoked this. You guys agree? Yes, okay. There's never any, justification presented for any of this bullshit. See also Arab-Israeli conflict, anti-Zionism, Israel in the apartheid analogy, comparisons between Israel and Nazi Germany, and lawfare. This is just shocking, man. This is just... Anti-Zionism is opposition to Zionism. Although anti-Zionism is a heterogeneous phenomenon, all its proponents agree that the creation of the State of Israel in 1948 and the movement to create a sovereign Jewish state in the region of Palestine, a region partly coinciding with the biblical land of Israel, was flawed or unjust in some way. I swear this is just insane. I, I just, I am just, it's all just disgusting, man. There's so much more to read here, and I don't want to. It just feels so fucking weird, man. Before World War II, opposition to Zionism was common among Jewish communities. Secular critics viewed Zionism as a form of nationalism, inconsistent with Enlightenment universalism, while some Orthodox groups it on theological grounds regarding the establishment of a Jewish state a contingent upon the arrival of the Messiah. Like, that's what I've always sort of wondered. Don't you guys like your Bible in that regard, or is we don't like that one? That one doesn't fit the narrative, so we're gonna leave that one out. You ever notice that part? Israel shouldn't exist according to their belief structure until after the Messiah shows up. Now, what if their belief that the Messiah was supposed to show up in like 1840 or 1850 or whatever? What if they say it did happen? They just hide it from us. Support for Zionism increased during the 30s as conditions for Jews rapidly deteriorated in Europe due to the rise of Adolf Hitler and Nazi Germany, and Zionism began to prevail in opposition to it in the Jewish diaspora. And Zionism began to prevail over opposition to it in the Jewish diaspora. With the Second World War, the sheer scale of the Holocaust was felt, and support for the Zionism increased dramatically, just as it was literally designed to do. That's why they lied. When people say, well, why would they ever lie about something so horrible? Right here. Right here. After the establishment of the State of Israel in the 1948 Palestine War, that's just not what happened. It's so fucking crazy that that's how this shit is reported. The 1948 on mandate Palestine were forced to rely on the British for 28 years until May 14th, 1948, when suddenly, supposedly, the British just pulled out. They were no longer in charge of Palestine. So these people that for 28 years never needed to have a military, never needed to have a government, never needed to have any of that shit because they weren't allowed to. And the British, they were fair. The British let things be okay there. All while slowly colonizing Palestine with Israel, with Jews. But May 15th, 1945 is known as the Nakba. That's the day that over 15,000 Palestinians were slaughtered and 150,000 were forced to leave so that Israel could be established. And this is all just coincidence, mind you. This isn't just, it's not like there's some plan or something. The Nazis, the big bad Nazis. Just whatever you do, don't ask about the Havara Agreement. I mean, the Havara Agreement should really piss you off. Because that's how I feel about it. When I think about how much World War II, Anne Frank, the Nazis this, the Nazis that, how much that narrative was just forced down our throats. My generation, the generation after me and all the generations before me. That shit was forced. Just, we had at least a month of it every single year. 1 month every single year in history class was dedicated to World War II. And a large portion of that was about how we needed to, realize that we're guilty for our sins, and we look what we did to them, and that's why they're superior now and unquestionable, and all this bullshit. And you hear these narratives of lampshades being made of skin, and which is all bullshit. Literally all of it is bullshit. But you hear these narratives over and over again. And one narrative you never ever hear is how the Jewish federations in 1933 signed a resolution, some sort of something, with the Nazi government, which provided, not allowed, provided for 60,000 Jews, German Jews, to leave to leave Germany and start colonizing Russia from 33 to 39. The Nazi regime paid for it. They hated him, right? They set up all these camps to kill him and all this other shit, right? Why would they have paid for 60,000 of them to leave? Why didn't they just kill them too? And they didn't leave everywhere. They only went to Palestine. Do you understand how insane this whole narrative is? Like, this is just, it sounds like I'm making it up because it's all so obvious and stupid. And in your head, I guess somewhere you think if what I was saying was true, America would never let that happen, right? We're America. We wouldn't let that happen. But like I say, you should be pissed off. Were you ever told about the Havara Agreement? I've already asked my wife this. She said no. I don't know anybody that heard about it. I'm sure some dumbass in the comments. What's up, Karen? Happy New Year to you as well. I'm sure some dumbass in the comments will act like they are. Oh, yeah, no, I heard about it. I heard about the Havara Agreement once. You didn't. We were never told about the 60,000 Jews that were paid to go to Palestine and colonize it. Mary says never. Anybody who's honest will say they never heard of that shit. And like I say, like, think about how as a kid you're forced to read this stuff, you're forced to like live it. You're gonna watch Schindler's List and you're gonna like it. You know. And think about how you truly felt. Like, you heard these stories about lampshades being made of skin, and you think, oh my God, like, this is horrible. How dare those damn Nazis do that to them? I grew up generations removed from it, but it was still weird to be like, yeah, my grandmother was German. Because people would be like, oh,
Is she a Nazi?
she's a Nazi. Nazi's crazy. A Nazi's crazy.
I always knew she was a Nazi.
I mean, I think my family was Project Paperclip, so yeah, probably. But the thing that people don't realize is, like, the Nazis were the same thing as our military. They were as programmed with propaganda and patriotism as we were or are. When you look at the parades and shit, you just switch those flags. Of course, it wasn't black and white with somehow the pictures are all black and white, but the flags are bright red. But if it wasn't so dramatic and you just switched it to American flags, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. It's all just patriotism bullshit. And the vast majority of the soldiers and scientists and engineers and all that shit, they were just as much victims as anybody else. They weren't allowed to be like, no, I don't want to fight for this Nazi cause. I resist your authority. It wasn't like that. They were like, you better fight or you gotta go, or you'll get killed. One of the two. After the establishment of Israel in the 1940s, anti-Zionism shifted from opposition to the creation of a Jewish state to the rejection of Israel itself, with many post-war movements advocating its replacement by an alternative political entity. I mean, think about something else that works that way. I can't think of anything else where one day it was this country, and the next day, after a complete invasion against nothing but innocent people. Like, at the end of the day, that's the thing. The Palestinians did nothing. They did nothing. The Palestinian partition plan and all that, it was a result of the Nazis. And you just, nobody in their right mind thinks, oh, the Germans did this horrible thing to the Jews, the Palestinians should pay for it. That's just stupid. Who would even envision that? How does that even get brought up? I mean, obviously that was the plan long before anything actually even happened. But I'm just saying, when they try to tell you that you're wrong or you're some kind of person, because you think about what it is. Think about the hatred that I get for the things that I'm saying. What am I saying that is so outrageous and wrong? Who thinks that if the Jews decide that they want something, then they should just be allowed to have it? And never mind if it belongs to somebody else, they should just give it up, because the Jews, especially if they come with a story that says how it used to be theirs. Does that even work for anything else? It's an amazing bunch of stupidity. It really is. It's why you never see it debated, right? Do you ever actually see any sort of real decent debates between pro-Israel this and anti-Israel that? The reality is, even if you do, you're not going to see them say, I reject your cult altogether. The only time you ever see that is when it's the dumbest fucking skinhead rednecks you can ever come across. I heard about the Havara, although I do know it was completely removed from the American educational curriculum, or so I was informed. Well, what most of us don't realize is that our textbooks were provided by Maxwell. Do you guys understand that? Our entire curriculum was provided by Robert Maxwell. by Robert Maxwell owned companies. Robert Maxwell being Jizzy Gislane's dad. You think it sounds like crazy conspiracy theory, but there's theory about it. It's the goddamn truth. It's so disgusting. It's just so how they rub it in our faces like this. You know, they just don't fucking care if we know what they're doing. And it's so just like wild. It's fucking wild. It's so obvious and crazy that all I have to do is literally just go read Wikipedia. And there are 6 people watching me currently, at least so it says. I have Karen, who is commenting, and then Doofus Peter, who is nobody pays attention to, and I think Mary's here. So who are the other people? What do they have to say about this? Why do I always have these hidden watchers that seemingly say nothing about what I'm talking about? You have no opinions on this? Random people on here, no opinion whatsoever? I mean, doesn't this shit, if you're watching me, then you would think it fascinates you. I'm not that entertaining. I mean, I'm fucking, you know, I'm nice to look at and all, I get that, but come on. Who's watching me because they like looking at me? I was told not to pay the bots any mind. This is sickening. I'm here. Everyone needs to know this. Hey, man, I have 2,500 following on this. 2,500 following and 5 viewers with 4 likes. It's just... When you know that people can put rubber bands on a watermelon and get 1 million+ views, like, understand that there's something else here. There's something else, and I think all of us know that. I think everybody that's here knows that not only is something weird going on, but there's also something sort of magical. Like, we're on to something, you know? We're all working towards the same goal, and you guys are bringing information in and all that, but we're clearly the resistance they fear the most. The biggest mistake they made was letting me have the you know, not censoring me from the beginning. Well, I wouldn't say not censoring me sufficiently consistently. Allowing me to get consistently 5,000 to 6,000 views, sometimes 8, 10, 20, 30, 40,000 views. To allow that to happen showed my value. It showed that when given the opportunity to engage with my feed, people will do so. And then to have it literally, you know, it's overnight. It's Charlie gets shot, and the next day, my feed struggles to crack 100 views from here on out. There's like 3 times where we surpass 1,000. You know, I don't know who's dumb enough to say, oh yeah, that's how things work. Because that's just not how things work. I mean, let's be serious here. You don't get to that position I was in only to fucking, you know, be doing the same thing while everything you're saying is coming more and more true every day, and people are catching on every day, and more truthers are talking about Israel every day. The guy that's been doing it for the last fucking decade, that's the last person that's going to, theoretically, that's the last person that shouldn't get elevated by this. The fact is, there should be thousands and thousands of people who have epiphanies pretty regularly going, holy shit, that dude with the weird hair was talking about this shit all those years back. I wonder if I can find him. I'll be right back, I think. Let's see what they say.
Don't leave me.
You know, I mean, like, I can talk about the big picture, or I can talk about the focused small picture. Either way, it's the same thing. The thing about the big picture is we rely totally on information we're told. When we talk about the smaller picture, the more focused picture, it's actually in real time. You know, it's shit that is happening as we speak. You guys can see it happening. It happens to you. You know, I don't know how many of you have had the lovely experience of suddenly becoming a target strictly because you watch me, but that's fun. Be respectful towards Israel, our only ally or our ally in our ally only democracy in the Middle East. Not my fault. It's hard to read. This idiot's fucking idiot. Be respectful. Fuck everything Israel. Everything. I have no, you know, it should not be there. You know, they're not special. It's everything. It's the worst. Matt, you earned a symbol. All right, I'll be back. They will continue to be there. Go cry about it. Corner? Yeah. They will continue. Go cry about it. I mean, again, if us crying about it wasn't such a threat, they wouldn't waste their time. They'd be living that up, you know, living in their opulence, living in their supremacy. Why would they need to worry about this? Your television don't care about the friars being persecuted. They're not. They never have been. Well, okay, so either they're not, they never have been and it's all bullshit, or there's a reason they're so persecuted. Which one is it? You can't have, like, it's not because they're just such great people. Oh, they're just so great. Everybody hates how nice they are. That's not the case. Can't be the case. So if it's not that, then what is it? Oh. Yeah, see? You ask these dumbasses to elaborate, and that's my fault. I shouldn't do that, but I do that. I do that for your benefit. Your dog is sitting out here looking all sad-faced. That's all I said. It just added the symbol. Weird. Yeah. Yeah. You know, again, it's so weird because you look at what we're shown and what we're told and all that, and you think, like, have you been told anything that makes you go, oh yeah, Israel's the good guy? Like, everything they do is good. There's literally nothing justifies that. Nothing, you know, fills that script. It's just what it is. They're so stupid. They're so embarrassing. Somebody else did the same thing. That's funny. You're so close-minded that you just assume I don't think some of what Israel is doing is wrong. I'm so close-minded, I don't think you are a decent person because you've done nothing but cry and support the genocidal insanity. So yeah, why would I assume that a troll, somebody who makes it their goal in life to troll the guy that thinks we should kill pedos and overthrow the Jewish control scheme, like, why would I ever think that guy is a bad guy? The guy trolling that guy, you're a dumbass. It's not genocide. Yep, it's not genocide. Yep, I'm just regurgitating shit you hear. Yep, that's what it is. That's what it is. It's amazing how many people are saying it, though. And how nobody ever says how good Israel is, or anything good about Israel or the Jewish people. Why do you suppose that is? Why does everyone hate you guys so much if you're so good? Isn't it weird? How come every time Netanyahu visits Trump's new war starts? Alright. Hang tight. And I guess you can come. What is this person? Maduro kidnapped. Yes, he was kidnapped.
Huh?
Is this you guys?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, hi, how are you?
Can we try really quick?
Sure.
Sure.
What is it doing?
It's Mario mission. So you guys finished it?
Yeah, they want it, and then
Yeah.
they want something else.
Yeah. Let's go.
That game's fun. You get to be
Yeah.
the elephant guy, right? Isn't that the one?
So you have to be quick.
Misha, give me the tip.
It's enormous.
Thanks, buddy.
And like, yeah, was like,
Mm-hmm.
so for
Right,
bunnies,
okay.
they
Should not be a read,
look
right.
like the people
Is it
in
this
the
way,
Mario
right?
game.
Should go in just fine.
But so
Okay. Good.
There you go. All right, buddy.
Thank you.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
What's up?
so is Mario Team versus rabbits? What they look like the same?
Yeah, they all pair together, right?
Oh yeah,
Okay,
no,
that's
it's
fair.
awesome.
It's awesome, man.
Yeah, it's a fun game. Have fun, guys. They were Jews. No peace prize, lady. Oh man, it's insane. It's all one big connection. It's not dumbassery. It's you're a dumbass if you don't think something's wrong here. It's just that simple. I mean, it's really it's actually boring how obvious it all is. And the fact that again, so much opposition comes my way that can't do anything. That can't argue any of the facts. Like, talk about politics. No, I don't like your haircut. Like, it's just the funniest shit, and it shows you exactly what's going on. Right? These are pedophiles. Like, their cult is a pedophile cult. Whether it's Matitza Bapé or it's even the darker ritualistic sexual abuse that that is everywhere. That is everywhere. Right? Like it's if you don't understand that we're dealing with a genocidal fucking rape cult, you're not paying attention. You literally saw the story of the Palestinian detainee who was raped, standing, forced to be stuck behind the guys in the shield with the shields, and unknowingly there was somebody was recording it from up above, up and to the left of the thing, and it shows like that they, three guys stand and hold the big shields up so that people can't necessarily see, while a whole plethora of other people are standing behind them. And then they show the one guy get forced in the corner and the action of his pants being yanked down. You can see the other guy going to town on him. Like it's horrendous. It's just horrendous. Aw, it's so cute that you don't think you're finishing this. Eat your friggin' food, man. There you go.
Jack, put this in my jar.
65. Hey, let me ask you guys, what do you guys think of Israel?
Burn to the ground, please.
That's one. What about you?
Yeah, I don't really know what this is really. It's just a terrible country with terrible people in it. And a lot of pedophiles. Pedophiles should kill themselves.
Well, I think you said what you needed to say, but said it's just a terrible country with terrible people and a lot of pedophiles. And pedophiles should kill themselves. Oh, they're so awesome. Maduro is currently in transport heading to New York City. Right, he got kidnapped. Yeah.
What? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He was kidnapped by the
Him and his wife.
United States, him and his wife, right.
Because she did so much, right?
Yeah. I mean, when you see that he has openly criticized Israel and Zionism for a long time, and then you look at how it's all worked. Netanyahu spends his time here, his little week here, and after he leaves, we go to war. Like the person said earlier, how come every time Netanyahu's here, we go to war? He visited 5 times in the first year of Trump's presidency. Just think about how outrageous that is. He visited 5 times in the first year of Trump's presidency. What do you think his visitation was like previously? And Trump went and saw him one time. So they had six personal hangouts, 6 play dates in the first year of Trump's presidency. That's basically one every 2 years, or one every 2 months, I mean. Do you not get, like, that is just... And it wouldn't even be as weird. I mean, it would still be fucking weird, but it wouldn't be as weird. But then when you go, okay, yeah, but does Israel seemingly get any sort of favoritism or anything? Like, yeah, a considerable amount, yeah. Did Trump pardon Netanyahu? Is that what I heard? Trump pardons Israeli president's office denies Trump's claim Netanyahu pardon is on its way. The Israeli president's office, so Isaac Herzog office, is saying that? Because Netanyahu is not the president. He's the prime minister. They are clearly different. The president is somebody that we never hear about. How many Isaac Herzog stories have you heard recently?
That would be nice. Okay. Now we need.
I think my wife has a boyfriend.
To keep dreaming makeup.
Uh-huh. That's how that works. That's what they say. When the old dog starts doing new tricks, she must have gotten a new trainer. You know what I'm saying?
No.
I thought that was pretty good the way that just came to my head, though. I mean, you have to give me some credit on that. I should try writing sometime. Freedom of the press. Are they sending Palestinians from Gaza to Somalia? No, they're sending Palestinians from Gaza to Somaliland. So part. I mean, it's just, again, it's like, if I were to have told you 5 years ago this was how it was going to work, you would have been like, dude, come on, you're so desperate. I can't believe you're making all this dumb shit up. There's no way that kind of shit happens. But Israel was the first to recognize Somaliland as its own place. But the reason they were is because Somaliland agreed to these concessions. Israel will recognize you if we can send Palestinians to you. If there was a couple of other things, but yeah, it was. You know, I come at this with humor and shit. But look at the videos. First of all, you'll not see a single video of Israelis being victimized. Like, the closest thing you'll get is a video with 4 people all up and down the streets. It's empty, but these 4 people are standing there, and an explosion happens off in the distance, and the women start just screaming, "Ah! Ah!" And they just scream for a little bit. And that'll be like all you'll see as far as like Israeli victimization. But if you look up what's been done to these Palestinians and the children and shit, I mean, I honestly skip over it most of the time. I know what it is. I know I don't want those images in my head. I already have enough trouble sleeping. I already think about this enough so much that I'm on my third, fourth live today because it's eating me up. Any help Jesus could offer me, why don't you direct it towards Palestine? Why don't you direct it towards the Palestinian children who are literally buried under the rubble right now, slowly dying because the rescuers can't get to them fast enough? Why don't you have your buddy JC go help them? Or how about your buddy JC go help any of the number of children secretly being held in the Vatican right now as we speak against their will? Passed around, horrendous situations after the lights go out for the day. The nightlife in the Vatican is a raunchy fucking place. Literally, I need nothing from your stupid Jesus compared to, what's happening in the real world. I'm not some selfish prick who's like, oh, I want a car. Please, Jesus, give me a car. Like, you guys are so stupid, I can't even begin to wrap my head around it. Yeah, like, these dumbasses just don't realize it. Right? So, let's show you. Let's show you something. Let me show you something. So let's look up your buddy Jesus, right? Jesus.
Oh my Jesus.
With the
Jesus.
with the locked page so nobody can get to it. Jesus, also referred to as Jesus Christ, Jesus of Nazareth, and many, many, many other names and titles, was a first century Jewish preacher and religious leader in the Roman province of Judea.
Speak it, brother.
He is the central figure of Christianity, the world's largest religion. Virtually all Christians consider Jesus to be the incarnation of God the Son and awaited Messiah, or Christ, a descendant from the Davidic line that is prophesied in the Old Testament.
Amen.
Hallelujah. The Davidic line, look what happens when you look up the Davidic line. Refers to the descendants of David who established the house of David in the kingdom of Israel and the kingdom of Judah. In Judaism, the lineage is based on text from the Hebrew Bible as well as on later Jewish traditions. According to the biblical narrative, David of the tribe of Judah engaged in a protracted conflict with Ishbosheth of the tribe of Benjamin after the latter succeeded his father's Saul to become the second king of the amalgamated Israel and Judah. It says Judah. I know you're thinking Judea, but it says Judah. Williams, were you hurt? Is that why you run away from the truth? Are you like stupid or something? Like, you understand, like, as far as this goes, like, as far as your narrative goes, this is the truth. And then it's always interesting how these are the people who think it's like a joke. Think pedophilia, think abuse, think rape is a joke. Oh, were you hurt? Oh, did somebody hurt you? Like, that's not a joke. That's disgusting. If somebody did, and that was why I had such anger, it would be very understandable, don't you think?
I would think.
But good for me. The thing is, I'm actually really, really glad that that's not the case. Not just because I'm glad I never had to experience something like that. But I wouldn't want that excuse. I wouldn't want people to be like, oh, you're just saying this because of what happened to you. No, I like being able to say, no, I'm saying this because I'm a better person than you are.
Oh.
At the end of the day, that's what it comes down to.
Ooh, they don't like to hear that.
I'm a better person than you are.
They can't use that.
It's not slimy or weird. Jesus is real, and he loves you and will fight for you. Only you just open. Oh, so Jesus is one of those guys that's like, well, I'm not going to help him. He's not asking for it. Why is well? What am I supposed to do? Would I show him I exist, and then of course then he's gonna believe me because I show him. But no, he could just die. I don't care. I'm not gonna throw that guy a life vest because all I keep hearing him say is gurgle, 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 gurgle. If he asked me to throw him a life vest, I would throw him a life vest. But he's just gurgling. You're stupid. Why is it so hard to consider the existence of God? Why is it so hard to consider an existence without a fairy tale? You know, your God is a dumb concept. And there's literally no proof for it. So, you're only talking about Christian God, right? Because those Muslims are stupid. And the Chinese are stupid with all of their things. And, the Iranians, whose religious beliefs, predate all of your Christian shit by a lot. They're all crazy. And even though Mormons and shit are versions of Christians, those motherfuckers are crazy. And the Jews, well, those are God's chosen people. Look at this shit. Because this world didn't just come into being by chance. So that's the only other option. The only other option is that God was bored, was floating around in space, had made all these other planets that it doesn't care about. But it was like, hey, you know what, that blue one right there? I want people to be there so they can worship me. That sounds good. They better worship me. You're so stupid. You are the one who talks trash on all religion, not me. Right, I'm equal. It's all relatively stupid. See, the only difference between Christianity and all the rest of them, like Christians are a special level of stupid because they believe the bad guys in the Bible, because the Bible's not about Satan. The Bible's about the Jews. Well, all the characters in the Bible are actually Jewish. That's that other part that you guys just don't want to acknowledge. But all of the main characters in the Bible are Jewish, including your buddy JC. But you're not going to believe the Jewish religions. You're going to believe this other bullshit.
He was not a carpenter.
Nope, he was a preacher, apparently. But like you're just fucking stupid. Like, it's crazy that you can be so stupid in believing. So again, the bad guys in your Bible, the people that kill your Jesus, your Christian God's only child, those people are your Christian God's favorite people. Like, it's such an oxymoron, just unbelievably stupid. How can you be that stupid? But at the same time, Islam talks about Jesus the prophet, Moses the prophet. They're all talked about, like, it's obvious they're all the same bullshit. We were taught to forgive. We all answer to God in the end for our acts. You see, I mean, again, look at how this person is just like spouting off. It's like the robot is malfunctioning, right? And instead of being able to actually interject and have, debate or acknowledge any of the points being made, it's just like, meh, meh, Christ is Lord, meh, meh, meh. We all answer to God in the end. Meh, we are taught to forgive. Meh, meh, meh. It's fucking, look at it. If there's a God, do you think you won't be forgiven for something or that you're not worthy? Yep, I'm not making any valid points. You're right. I'm not. Yeah. It's just embarrassing. But this is what you, and you know how you know it's embarrassing? The dumbass Christian keeps deleting their messages so people can't see how stupid they look. These Christians are just embarrassingly stupid. When you ask somebody, hey, why do you like if somebody was like, oh, that diner on the street is my favorite restaurant. You were like, really? Your favorite restaurant out of all the yeah, it's actually the only place I eat. I go there and you know or while you're waiting for them to bring you food, you break out a bag of chips or something and you eat that and you're like, oh, place is great. Feeds me all the time. Like, what have you ever eaten there? No, nothing's ever shown up, but I've taken all sorts of bags of chips in there. When I take a bag of chips in there and I eat it for myself, it's like delicious and shit. But, you know, that's just coincidence. That's not, you know, that's not anything that you can really, you know, point to or anything. In a God of David, honey. God can remove that hate in your heart. I don't want anybody to remove the hate in my heart. I'm extremely proud of the hate in my heart. Are you crazy? I'm proud of my hatred of pedophiles. I'm proud of my hatred of Israel and all things chosen friar. You're fucking stupid. You don't have to learn how the real word works. We need Israel. What do we need Israel for? Tell me one good thing Israel does. Tell me one good way Israel makes the world a better place. Just give me something. You're so stupid. It's amazing that you can honestly be this stupid. Yeah, I'm extremely proud of everything I have to say. I would be angered if somebody removed the hatred I have for Israel from my heart. That would bother the shit out of me. I would hate that. You're swimming in the deep end and you're not, you know, you don't even have on water wings, dude. Allows us to have influence in the Middle East that no, it doesn't. It doesn't allow us to have influence in the Middle East at all. And again, how does that benefit anyone? What are you talking about? Our support for Israel is why we're, quote, hated so much. But no, Israel doesn't give us any sort of platform or any sort of standing. It's actually the worst thing in the world. And Israel costs us so much goddamn money every year. It's not even like people don't understand. Not just the $3.8 billion cash payment in the first fiscal month of every year, or the first month of every fiscal year. There's also the money that's given throughout the year, and there's all the money that we have to pay out each year as part of the Abraham Accords to ensure that everybody plays nice with Israel. Like, you're just not on this level, and you're fucking stupid, and I don't even know why I'm wasting any more time. You guys have yourself a wonderful day, and you pedophiles, kill yourself. Don't forget to get your links in the description, too. But, yeah, you pedophiles.